Hello everyone. So it's Wednesday lunchtime, 2:39, and I think probably most of you are still in bed at the moment. I get to hear Radio 2 first thing in the morning, which is bizarre. This time thing is still quite strange to get used to. Maybe I should stop listening to the BBC all the time and get used to Chinese television. Apparently there is an English-speaking Chinese TV station. I haven't even bothered to switch it on yet, to be honest. I've just been listening to the radio and doing video messages and working and exploring and things like that, so been a bit too busy for that. So I'm sat here with a cup of tea. I know it looks very nice in a nice Chinese bowl. You'll be pleased to hear it's English tea. Well, say English tea, it's that Lipton yellow label that you can get all around the world but never seems to taste of tea. I thought that I would just tell you about what happened yesterday. Yesterday I was meant to be teaching my first business English classes, and those were cancelled the night before because I had to go for my medical. All new teachers here at Ishu University have to go for a medical, which is a 50-kilometre trip to a specialist medical travel centre in Hangzhou city, which is probably, I think it's the capital of Zhejiang province, which is where I am. So it was an interesting minibus ride. The usual Chinese traffic rules, and that is there are no rules at all, which is great fun, but I have come to learn to respect and trust Chinese drivers implicitly. They are far more observant than we are, and it's a credit to them that there aren't more accidents than there are on the roads, although I know that quite a few people do get injured, but then it's a big country. So we drove there. It was about an hour, and I shared the coach with Kelly, our exchange centre link person, if you like, translator, and then also there was Kate, an Australian, who's over here to teach kindergarten students at a local school, and also a guy from Las Vegas called Mark, and he's a very extrovert guy, and he's here to lecture to local people, businessmen, and I think also to graduate school students as well on business. So I was learning lots about Las Vegas and America, as you do from the Americans, and we arrived, and they dropped me right outside HSBC in the city, which is the bank that I actually need to go to sign some papers to finally open the accounts over here that I need. And it was very tempting to just sort of say, can I nip in? I've just got some papers to collect and sign, but alas, there wasn't the time to do that. I'm a bit concerned because the city that we were in is enormous. It's bigger than London, and I think it has about 9 million people living in it, yet it's only the capital of this province. Still the size and the scale of this country is absolutely staggering. And we passed repetitive scenery on the way. Everything is factories, the occasional residential area, and huge amounts of redevelopment. There is the removal of old buildings, which are now just left as piles of rubble, and people are being put up in new, far better accommodation, often provided for by workplaces as well. So it's very convenient for people to get to work. And it was mile after mile after mile, 54 kilometres I think we travelled, and the scenery was exactly the same. And you can see why, this is the biggest producer of anything in the world. This is the factory of the world, if you like. So it's still very, very impressive, and I wouldn't say that I'm still suffering from culture shock, but I certainly find myself gaping a lot, staggered at the enormity of this country. So we arrived, and it was a short walk through the streets to the travel centre, and then it was a quick registration, and after that it was starting to go through a series of tests. We had everything yesterday. We had ear, nose and throat. We had weight and height checks, which did prove amusing. I walked into the consultant's room and she asked me to stand on this machine that did my weight and my BMI and also my height, but unfortunately the machine couldn't read it. Being a slightly tall 1 meter 94 Westerner, their machine just wasn't cut out for this, so she had to ask me how tall I was in the end. She was quite staggered. I don't think she quite believed it really. So ENT, height, then I had to have an ultrasound, so it was quite an unusual experience to go through that. That was all fine. And then an ECG, and needless to say, that was also fine. And as for vaccinations, well, fortunately I'd taken my my BMC travel clinic certificates with me that I had done in Ashford, and showed them those, and that was that one, done and dusted immediately. Had an eye test as well, and also a chest x-ray. So I have to say that despite it being extremely efficient, shall we say, it was certainly very thorough. Oh, there was a blood test and urine samples as well. Everything had to be given, and I've been classed as fit to work in China, so that's a bit of a relief. And after that, it was straight on the bus back home, and then yesterday I went into the city in the afternoon to do some more shopping. Decided to investigate the French store Carrefour, which is their version of Tesco's. And I thought that I was as close as I was going to get to getting a tin of baked beans. So Jason, you were asking about those, and sadly, still no baked beans, not even Worcester sauce, but lots of other products there that are clearly straight out of Western, particularly British shops. So I've managed to pick up a few luxuries. And again, absolutely staggering, a 9-year-old bottle of French Grand Vin de Bordeaux. Usually this is going to cost you about 18 to 19 pounds, so 180 to 190 yuan here in China. And that managed to be purchased for 58 yuan, so £5.80. So that's excellent. So that was yesterday, then dinner in the evening, and then a bit of late night preparation for the first lessons today, which I shall tell you about in another video. Okay.